So you might have a problem that you think, oh, that's great and it's annoying me and I want to fix that. But if there's not a lot of other people that are experiencing that same problem, then your market's not big enough for you to exploit and make a profit out of.
Warning: Damian Andrews' growing revenue and profit, if implemented, will put more money in your pocket. Please use with caution.
Hear a lot of people talk about business being hard. It's difficult, it's a struggle, and no doubt there is a bit of effort required. You need to do things in a methodical way, and certainly there's skills that people may not have. And I'll draw an analogy. A friend of mine is a 7th Dan black belt in karate, and we were talking about whether things are hard or easy. And I said to him, it's all relative to your experience. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, you're a 7th Dan black belt. Now, if I asked you to do a grading at a yellow belt level, how hard would that be for you to do? And he said, it'll be easy. And I said, it's easy because you have a lot of experience. You're a 7th Dan black belt, and therefore at a yellow belt level, it's easy. And that's the same in business as well. There's certain skills that you need to have, and when you have those skills, things are a lot easier. A friend of mine's a venture capitalist, and he's really, really good at analyzing businesses. Well, in his area of expertise, he's very good at analyzing businesses, and he can tell whether it's more likely to be a success or a failure. But there are some fundamental things that you can look at as to what is going to make your business operations easy or simple. And we'll start with the basic concepts of what is a business. And the first thing you need to look at is solving a problem. Are you solving a problem? And it's not just are you solving a problem, but is that problem big enough to give you a sustainable, profitable market? So you might have a problem that you think, oh, that's great and it's annoying me and I want to fix that. But if there's not a lot of other people that are experiencing that same problem, then your market's not big enough for you to exploit and make a profit out of. So that's one key thing to look at is there a big enough problem? An example of that would be the iPod, which Steve Jobs, he had a problem with the current, well, at that time, the current MP3 players. They weren't very good. And that annoyed him, so he solved that problem. And fortunately for him, that market was massive, and he was able to make a substantial amount of money of that and help a lot of people, which is the key thing that you want to focus on, is solving a problem. So that's the first step. Now, the next step that you need to do is that you need to be able to let people know that you actually can solve this problem. And that's a marketing function. So that's the next step. You start, okay, how do I market this? How do I reach people? And there's numerous ways, depending on where you're operating. If you're B2C, you can use social media, you can use direct mail if you've got, or direct email if you've got those email addresses and those databases. There's lots of different ways that you can market what you're doing. And obviously word of mouth is another component of that. And that's a very, very cost-effective component. We'll come to that, back to that at the moment. But that's a marketing function. So the first step, solve a problem. Second step, let people know that you've solved the problem. And then the third step that you need to do is you need to have a process of building trust that you actually can solve the problem. And that's a sales function. So what you're doing there is creating a process whereby people, yourself or other people, will go out and let people know that you can solve this problem. So you've done marketing to attract attention. Now you need to have a process to actually sell the product. Once you've sold a product, then you have to have processes in place to build it. Sometimes that happens beforehand, but that's the next step is once you've sold it, you either got it on the shelf, which you've already built it, or afterwards you're building it and you're selling it as well. And drop shipping was a good example of that, where they would fulfill the orders after it was after the order was placed. And so they go and find where to sell it from. But from that perspective, now what you need to do is actually build the product or service and deliver the service at a higher standard than what the customer is expecting. You can deliver it at the same standard, certainly not below the standard, but at least at the standard, but preferably at a higher standard, because that creates that goodwill feeling that they feel great about that. Now, that doesn't mean that it costs a lot of money to do that. It can be little simple things like a little note that you have as part of your process, when you send something out. you include in that a little note that says, hey, thank you, really appreciate your business. And then you can send out a follow-up note as well, which we'll get into the reasons for that in a minute. But that's the process. You need to have a system not only of creating the product or service and then delivering it. So that's the operations component. And then from that process, that links over into how do you manage those leads? So once you've sold to something, too often I see people in business, they've done the sale and that's it. They let it go. I mean, this person has bought from you. You've gone through that process of solving a problem, marketing, and then selling. And so that's taken a lot of effort. And then they don't follow up after that. And you need a process for following up after that to chase repeat business. It's really important. If they're bought from you once, they're more than likely to buy again. If they weren't happy from that experience, you can then also rectify that as well. But if they're happy from that experience, then have a way of following that up. And that can be as simple as just contacting them regularly, preferably not every day, but on a reasonable basis, and saying, here, this is what we've got on offer. And I've lost count of the amount of times I've bought Lego because I've got an email from someone that a business that I've bought Lego from, and they've said, oh, we've got this on special. And most of that's an impulse purchase. I look at that and go, yeah, that's really cool. And I'll hit and I'll buy it. So you need to have that process of follow-up for that repeat business. You want to look at the lifetime value of the customer. You want to be able to reach them in numerous ways. And then also too, you add on to that is a referral system. You have a system for asking them, is there anybody else that might be interested? If you've got a lot of value out of this, do other people that you know get a lot of value out of that? And then you have a referral system. And that can be as simple as, again, sending out an email saying, we really thank you for your business, really appreciate it. If you knew of anyone that had a similar need, if you could refer them to us. And when they get referred, make sure you do, again, a follow-up and say a thank you, a simple thank you. I know of a dentist that actually sends a lotto ticket after someone refers. It's a simple referral system. So that's really all business is. It's not that difficult at its core. We overcomplicate it. Yes, we make it difficult. Does it require effort? It certainly does. But in reality, what you need to do is solve a problem, have a way of letting people know that you're solving the problem, have a way of convincing them that they can trust you to solve that problem. Make sure you deliver what you say you're going to deliver and deliver it in a way where you can follow up, so repeat business, and also seek referrals. Follow that strategy. It's pretty simple to operate a business. There's lots of different elements within that which you can get more efficient at and really good at, but at its core, that's what a business is. This is Damien Andrews for Growing Revenue and Profit.